Hey everyone, good afternoon. This is Mark. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. A little bit of different setup here. I'm still in the same room that I normally shoot these in. I'm just a few feet away from where I normally am, but I'm not really showing a record or any CD or book or anything. So I decided to set up this way. Plus, I have a new mic that you see here. Hopefully, you can hear me a little bit better. I'm hopeful that. Hoping to use this a little bit more, but the purpose of this video is to talk about a story that I actually did not know. All the years I've followed Elvis, all the stories, the books I read, um, the different articles I've seen, interviews, all that. I never knew about this story until about maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago. Now, everybody knew about Elvis's generosity. It's pretty much part of his legend. Um, there was always two constants that you heard regarding Elvis and who he was as a person. Um, and many of you may already know those two characteristics that I'm going to tell you. And again, this is all from people who knew him, that were close in his inner circle, that were around him day by day, bodyguards, friends, family, former girlfriends, Priscilla, his daughter. I mean, many people that knew him very well and were a big part of his everyday life. But that one thing was his enormous generosity that he had. Um, in fact, he delighted in giving somebody a gift, whether it be a Cadillac, a car, a sports car, jewelry. He was really known, especially in the 70s. He would give his bodyguards, family members, he would go to a jeweler. He would have it specially designed with a certain number of diamonds. He would have it engraved, so it was personalized. So it was a very personal gift, and I always loved that he did that. Um, and so that part of his life is very well known. There's even this story which I always wondered if it was urban legend when I was a kid, but I remember hearing a story, and then I did confirm that it actually happened about a year ago. I read it, where he was in a car dealership in Memphis and was buying a car for himself and noticed a woman admiring a car, and he basically had the keys given to her. I don't know if he gave her the keys himself, but he paid for that car for that woman to drive it off, and he loved doing that. He loved giving and loved to see people's reaction. It was just something that was very near and dear to his heart, and he was like that his whole life. There was the 1961 benefit concert that he did in Hawaii when he was in Hawaii to film Blue Hawaii. Proceeds of that concert all went to starting the USS Arizona Memorial for, of course, the events on in December of 1941, Pearl Harbor. He did the concert in '73, Aloha concert. That was for a benefit for, I can't remember his name, but it was for cancer and cancer research. But he was always, even in Memphis, he gave to a lot of charities, supported a lot of great causes. And then, secondly, the second aspect about Elvis that always stood out to me, and this you hear a lot too, is he loved his fans. Loved his fans. Everything he did, especially the touring, and in later years when his health wasn't the best, people would tell him, look, Elvis, you're not doing good. Your health isn't good. Maybe you should sit this tour out, and he wouldn't do it. He was always there. He was always on the road. He did have to cancel a few concerts in the last couple of years of his life due to hospitalizations and illnesses and things like that. But he was always right back, and he always tried to, come back to that city that he had missed due to that. So I say all that to say this. The story I'm going to tell you is this occurred in April of 1972. Elvis was on the last day of a 10-city, 10-day tour. So there was a little girl. Her name was Denise, and she had been diagnosed with leukemia in December, I believe, of 1970. It started with a tumor on her leg, and she eventually had to have the leg and her hip amputated. And apparently, she was from Santa Fe, and apparently Elvis had been in that area, and she got all excited. She wanted to go, and because of her health, she had a setback and wasn't able to make it. So fast forward to that April tour, her mother found out that Elvis was coming close by, and she bought 2 tickets, and she knew how much her daughter just adored Elvis because her mother was a huge Elvis fan. So before the concert, she reached out to the local newspaper and wanted to get a hold of Colonel Parker to see if she could arrange a visit and a meeting with Elvis so that her daughter could meet him. And initially, from what I could gather, I guess the severity of her illness wasn't really. It was relayed that she was sick and not doing well, but I guess Colonel Parker didn't know the severity, just that she was sick. And initially, he said, I don't know if I can arrange it. Elvis is going to fly right into the city. He's going to perform it, and then he's going to leave immediately. So his schedule's going to be tight. We don't think we can accommodate. Well, then her mother pushed harder, and said, "Look, she has leukemia. We don't know how much longer she's going to be with us. Could you please arrange this?" As soon as Parker heard that, he said, "Yeah, I'm going to see if I can get that done for you." So I'm going to pause this video. What I'm going to show you is a short video of that. This is the best quality that I could find. I did a lot of searching. It's a real good segment. I hope you enjoy it, and then when it's done, I'll come back and wrap it up. So enjoy.
Brad, introduce the lady there and tell them about it.
Colonel, can we get in there?
That's our newspaper man. Don't mess with him. Go in a little further, Red.
Great shot of his back. See through here? Colonel, this is impossible. I got it, Mark.
Tell him what you said. Tell me.
She's shy.
Okay, step back.
The song that you like. Well, could you sing me a special song, please?
I sure will.
Don't Cry Daddy or Love Me Tender or whichever one you want.
Alrighty.
Or whichever one you want.
Danny, look over here, honey.
No, look at it. Look at Elvis. Okay.
Okay, smile. I'm not going to tell you which one I'm going to do, okay? I'm just
The
surprised.
special one. What's your favorite song? Surprise,
There you go.
Oh,
Okay. How about it?
Oh. Thank you so
thank
much.
you so much.
Bye-bye, you.
Bye.
You gotta remember.
Thank you.
You happy now?
We'll let these people out, please.
Calm down.
All right, so welcome back. That was an awesome video, and it's so heartwarming. You can hear her ask Elvis if she can sing her favorite song. Either the audio is a little bit hard to hear. Either "Don't Cry Daddy" or "Love Me Tender," and he said, "I sure will. I'll keep it a surprise." And then of course, he signed the poster for her, which her mother ended up having it framed, and they kept it displayed in their den. But you can just see the excitement in her face. And it's just, I don't know, it's just the most heartwarming story. Yeah, you almost get emotional watching it. This sweet little 8-year-old girl, just the excitement and just the way Elvis was so personal, and he had kissed her. I guess she said she wasn't going to wash her cheek. Her mother, the story went on. I read a story that came from her mom that said, like, for a week she would bathe everywhere, but she wouldn't bathe. She wouldn't touch her cheek. So, the story does end on a sad note, but there's a little bit of a surprise at the end of this. So, that concert, I believe, was April 19th of 1972. Of course, Elvis, before he did "Love Me Tender," he did say, "This is for a little girl that I met backstage." And then, to me, which really, really is touching, is he then performed "You Gave Me a Mountain" in her honor. And just the words of that song, and the fact that he dedicated that to her. She only lived another 4 months, which would have taken her to, I believe, August. But right before she did pass away, somebody had heard her story in the papers or in a magazine or something along those lines. And it was a couple, a husband and wife from California. They contacted Denise's mother and said, We know your story. It touched us, and we want to. We know Elvis is coming to Las Vegas. We want to pay for Denise to see him in concert. We're gonna take care of the bill and take care of all the money, the cost for the concerts. I don't know if they flew her out or what they did, but I know they ended up paying for 2 concerts. So little Denise got to see Elvis twice shortly before she passed. So that was the purpose of this video. Mainly was to talk about that story. It's just such an awesome story. And just to see that video and to see the way Elvis interacted with her and was just so kind. It just showed the generosity that he wasn't above that. And that's, like I said, that's one of the things I always really admired about Elvis. Even at a very young age, I knew about his generosity, and he was a great humanitarian, and just wanted to share that with you. So I do want to thank you. My channel, as I say this in every video, my channel is growing. Thanks to all of you out there that have subscribed and have taken the time to watch these. I hope you enjoy them. For those of you just watching and you haven't subscribed, please like and subscribe if you want to see more of this content. Like I said, this is a little bit different than what I normally do. I usually do reviews, but I want to switch it up a little bit. Not switch it up, but keep it fresh. Keep it not just do music, but to talk about the legacy, the life, and the music of, in my opinion, the greatest entertainer that ever lived or ever will, in my opinion, and that's Elvis. So thank you again all so much for watching, and take care of yourselves. Have a great weekend.